I wouldn't normally spend money on a gimmicky tool like this, but I have never seen a cutoff wheel do stuff like this before. And I've bought 3 or 4 different steel cutoff wheels similar to this in the past from different brands. But, you know, when someone tells me this is the last cutoff wheel I will need for the rest of my life, it will be warranted for the rest of my life. Challenge accepted, I guess.
This very bright and shiny cutoff wheel is from a company called Bad Dog Tools. And the tool's interesting. I gotta be honest, the name Bad in your name, if you make tools, is a little problematic, but that's okay. When I saw this at a trade show, and I saw what the guy was doing with it, and I saw that it had a lifetime warranty, meaning like for the rest of my life, this could be the last cutoff wheel I ever buy, it was just too enticing to say no. So I reached out on social media, I said, do you guys want to see a review on this thing? I got a very enthusiastic yes. So now it's time.
Start your engines. The material that we're cutting into is some scrap 1/2-inch thick plate that I had laying around. And Matt, he marked 2 2-inch long lines, so we're just making a 2-inch long straight cut into 1/2-inch material. Right now, I'm using this Mad Dog diamond blade, or diamond wheel, whatever you would call it, and Matt is using just a traditional 4.5-inch abrasive cutoff wheel. The guy that I bought it from at the booth said to push really hard with these wheels in order to ensure that you are going to cut like at a decent speed. And every time I start to push hard, it grabs really hard. And I purposely have it connected to my most powerful angle grinder because I want to be able to push hard with it. Another thing that I noticed whenever you push hard with it is it's real easy to make it like bow, if that makes sense. It doesn't seem like it's as easy to keep a nice straight line as you would with a traditional cutoff wheel.
Are you sure you made them the same length? Those are both 2 inches?
Yep.
You know, while we do this, why don't we just switch, I'll just make this the Nate piece, we'll make that the Nat piece, and we'll...
I'm going to cut a few different types of material today, and when it comes to mild steel, which is what most of us work with, cutting with this sucks, honestly. I mean, it works. It doesn't... Here's what's funny. I've used steel discs in the past, and they suck. Like, they're okay when it comes to cutting mild steel, but this is worse because it's so thick. It's thicker than a standard abrasive cutoff wheel, and it's thicker than the other steel cutoff wheels that I've used in the past, and for that reason, it feels like you're trying to cut mild steel with a grinding wheel instead of a cutoff wheel. And it's not as wide as a grinding wheel, but it definitely has that same sensation. Like you're removing a ton of material in order to make your cut. Cutting an axle shaft or a ring gear is it's an interesting test because these are both hardened materials. And what's even more interesting is the results. I didn't see a difference in speed or like control between the abrasive disc versus the steel disc. Which gives the steel disc a little bit of an advantage in my opinion. Yeah, you still have some of that weird stuff around the edges, that buildup, but when it comes to the fact that I can cut a whole bunch of hardened steel, not wear out the disc, and it cuts just as fast as an abrasive disc, and I could accidentally drop it and maybe not break it. I don't know, we're going to do a drop test at the end of the video and see how it holds up. But I do feel like there is a slight advantage to the steel disc when it comes to cutting hardened materials just because of the things I just listed, like safety and whatnot.
The reason this next test is relevant is because whenever you plasma cut, anybody who's used a plasma cutter, you know that if you need to drill anything near it, or if, you know, sometimes you use a blade to cut it with, it can like instantly dole out a bit or instantly dole out a blade. It doesn't make it hardened steel, but the slag and stuff on the edges of your cut with the plasma cutter are hardened enough to ruin a lot of like metal to metal type of cutting action.
a MIG weld is actually super hard, and for us to be able to cut through this with like a portaband blade or drill through it with a drill bit, we would need to heat this up with a torch to it's like cherry red, and then let it cool down before we could, you know, get that steel soft enough to be able to cut through it. But with this, for whatever reason, this blade seems to cut through harder materials better than soft materials, so it ripped through the weld even better than it did the mild steel getting up to the weld. I don't know exactly what this is made out of. Obviously, some kind of steel. So, use a magnet. Sticks pretty good to the table because it's just mild steel. Sticks pretty good to this, which is surprising because this is like a Lennox version of this blade. Thinner, and usually the thicker the steel, the better it sticks. But this sticks really good to here. Doesn't stick as good. Like, this is very weak sticking to this, which means there's a lot less iron in it. I would guess that means that it's made out of harder steel. I don't think that it's not sticking because of the diamond that they use on the outside. I know they say that this is diamond. It's hard to believe. Or I don't know. It is really expensive, like they use tons of diamonds in it, right? But I don't really know if it's like hard diamonds mixed with other hard rocks or something like that, or minerals or whatever. But in any case, it's definitely very abrasive. It's like 46 grit, I think they say. And one thing that sticks out to me versus, like, I've used a bunch of these types of cutoff wheels in the past. This one is the only one I've seen where it's got the whatever abrasive that they're using on it all the way down. I mean, that's obviously drastically different. And that's one of the things that they showed me at the trade show as being a reason why you can like use this as a grinding wheel, you can use it as a cutoff wheel. So there's benefits there. But I think that when you look at the cuts that we've made today, there's a really big difference in how thick this is versus how thin this is, or how thin a normal cutoff wheel is. This next test I think is best suited when you're looking at it through the angle of you got a bunch of demo work that you need to do. Whether it's gonna be like a Super Duty 60, I think it's like a great example. You're gonna be cutting some cast sections, you're gonna be cutting at really weird angles, and if you side load that blade at all, you're just gonna be grenading discs. Whereas with this, because it can take such a crazy side load, it gives you a lot more flexibility if you need to demo stuff at really weird angles, or if you're underneath a vehicle trying to get at something from weird angles. This is the craziest part about this tool, and what it's a benefit and a con. It's hard to make a straight cut, but what's beautiful is like I was able to go from almost a 90 to like a 45, just grinding it from the side of the blade. If you used any cutoff wheel, normal abrasive disc, it would just explode. You know, we would have went through 3 or 4 just to get to this angle. So I don't know an application where this would be super handy, but I think that it speaks volumes to one of the benefits, which is the fact that this thing's crazy durable and you can do some stuff with it that you couldn't do with a normal cutoff wheel. This next test is not a practical test, but it's one that you asked for, so I'm gonna do it. We're gonna cut through another cutoff wheel. Cutting through an abrasive cutoff wheel is just kind of gross. It doesn't even prove anything. So we'll cut through this used steel one and then move along to aluminum. I think that an aluminum test is a very worthwhile test because a lot of abrasive discs, they just get so clogged up with aluminum. I imagine this is going to be the exact same way, unless you're using some sort of a saw-shaped or some sort of a saw, like a serrated edge on a disc. I don't think you're going to get clean work out of aluminum. And sure enough, this just kind of like marred up just like everything else does whenever you touch aluminum with it. But after seeing the dude at the trade show cut like tile and a bunch of stuff, I figured maybe I could clean the aluminum off by just like cutting a paver or a brick or something. That's totally working. I think that I could clean this back up by just sharpening it on a brick. But for now, let's open up this garage door. This is growing on me, and I do think it's cool. But now I think we need to talk about the most important topic, which is price. If this was $20, would you buy it?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
all day long.
I feel like for demo or something, this could be useful.
For any time you can't have the tool for the job, it makes a great universal tool.
So for you, this is a backup tool. Can you think of any job where this would be a primary tool?
Either field use or trail use.
I think that it has value there.
Yeah.
So if it was $40, would you buy it?
Yeah, it still would.
What about $80?
That'd be really hard sell.
Okay.
Really hard sell.
This at retail, like if you just bought it on their website, is $200, $199, which I know you know. I don't remember how much I paid for it at the show, but it was discounted at the show. I still paid a buttload of money. I bought these and I bought their drill bits, which if you guys want to see anything on the drill bits, let me know in the comments. I'm 50-50 on doing a video on the drill bits, but they're lifetime warranty drill bits, and so they're very strange. They want them at super high. It's like literally they designed them in a way that you like do everything in a way that you were not taught to do it in shop class.
Yeah, high speed, high pressure.
He's like, make sure that your drill is on the absolute highest speed. So anyway, if you want to see that, let me know. But I know that between this and the drill bits, I was like $401. Which I think most people wouldn't do. We're not talking about a drill bit set that's like this long. We're talking about very small,
like 20 drill bits.
So that's what I'm curious is, would people spend $200 or let's say a show price? I think it was like maybe 120, 140, 150, somewhere in there. Would you spend that on a disc like that? I think that's
Lifetime warranty.
Lifetime warranty is the only
once.
reason it's so enticing. But good Lord, is that a lot of money for one part of one tool that does the same thing as your like 50 cent.
I was gonna say it's a few hundred cutoff wheels.
It's a lot of cutoff wheels.
Got to make it look natural. Wee. Oh no, I just hit it. The guard's so big, I don't think it hit.
It didn't.
We've all done this. Actually, that still was not that bad.
No.
Usually when I drop them, they break in half.
Shatter.
So, I think I already know the results of this test, but let's drop it a few times. All right. Ugh, this pains me. That was a good hit.
That was.
It still looks like it's good to go. How does this work? Great power.
Finish it.
Oh my god, that hit my computer. Ugh. Messing up the concrete pretty good.
Very solid thud.
Yeah. Whew. This is 1 high. Oh god, that just gives me chills. If you're bringing this on the road with you, like if you're doing, I mean, if you got to work on rigs for quarter-mile time, or if you got to work on rigs like us when we're off wheeling and stuff, having something that doesn't break in your tool bag, obviously pretty valuable. Now, would you pay $200 to have something not break in your tool bag? I don't know. Everybody's budget's a little different. Yeah, I bought one of your grinding wheels, and I was reading some different stuff about the warranty, and I just had a couple questions about the warranty. If you have like a department that handles that, or I could just ask you. Sweet. So, what is like the usual turnaround time on replacement? Oh, sorry. For the grinder, yeah. For the grinding wheel, like what would be the standard turnaround time on getting a warranty?
Once we receive it, depending on the time of day when we receive it, we typically get them like literally right back out the same day.
Nice. Okay, what kinds of things would void the warranty?
The only thing that will void the warranty is if you enlarge the arbor size of the HD2 disc. That basically means that you're putting it on something that is not manufactured for.
Very reasonable. Okay. And then is there a limit on like replacements and stuff? Like if I bought this for a company and I just warrantied one every 6 months, would I eventually reach some sort of a limit, or is it literally just lifetime?
It's the lifetime of the customer.
Wow.
I have customers that send it in monthly, quarterly, yearly. It really depends on what you're using it for and how.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
The replacement of the disc is free, but there is return shipping and handling that we do ask for.
Okay. Well, I think that's it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I already own this thing, so this is something that you'll have access to. Do you see any jobs in particular in the shop here where you would use this?
No, it wouldn't be my first go-to for really anything.
Really?
Yeah.
My knee-jerk reaction was like demoing like Super 60 or something like that. Just because you're cutting, well, that's the thing, is like a regular fiber disc still cuts through cast and all that. Because like when you're demoing the Super 60, you're cutting some different material types off. I like that I could cut at goofy angles and this wouldn't blow up on me, but it's so slow. I don't know if there's really a giant benefit of using this for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't see much of a benefit. I could see for demo where you're cutting up against concrete or something like that. But
you would still, if I brought in an 05 and up Super Duty axle in here and you were clearing it off, you would use the other stuff we have in the shop. This wouldn't be your go-to.
Not at all.
I hate the idea that I spent $200. Well, I didn't spend $200. I spent $150 or whatever it was at the show on this, and it might end up in the bottom of a trail tool bag.
That it will.
I feel like that is probably for us, because of the access we have to tooling and stuff, that's probably going to be the most likely scenario. Or if we we weren't keeping track of our discs and we run out of grinding discs or out of cutoff wheels, then I guess we could just grab this and then we know we could at least finish the job. We'll see. Maybe we'll find a job in the shop where this benefits us because we're going to have it here. But I imagine you wouldn't buy one of these for your shop at home.
Not at all.
And you're not going to be like calling me, hey, Nate, can I borrow the diamond cutoff wheel?
Can I use it? I really need it. No, not so much.
So that's it. If you guys are interested in the drill bits, let me know. I'm very interested in the drill bits. We'll see how this video does. I like doing tool reviews personally. So if you want to see some of the, some testing on the drill bits, and that one I feel like would be easy to break a drill bit, and then we can test the warranty. Because they said it's a lifetime warranty on broken drill bits, dull drill bits, all that. So I'm kind of interested in those. But yeah, let me know in the comments. What do you guys think? Would you spend $200 on this? I already know what the comment section's going to look like. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.